Well, hello YouTubers! Yes, this is the Sunday video update. My name is Jared Fuller. Today is Sunday, June 23rd, 2019. So much to get to in this week's Sunday video update. It has been a very long, very stressful week. So much to talk about. Dad and Amy, they're still sleeping, so I may be joined in with some snores and, talking in sleep. Who knows? But there's a lot to get to, and I have a rant that I need to get to as well. But before I get to any of that stuff, right off the bat, I want to remind all of you to visit GuideStar.org. GuideStar.org has a complete and comprehensive listing of all the 501c3 nonprofit organizations and LLCs approved by the federal government of the United States. Don't be fooled, don't be duped. Visit GuideStar.org today. This is the first weekend of summer 2019, and I really hate to, start off on such a bad note. But I'm going to have to do a rant because, that's kind of my shtick when I run into problems with people who refuse to act their age and grow up and show a little bit of maturity. This is the kind of shit that I have to deal with. So on Friday... Well, first of all, before I get to that, I want to kind of rewind momentarily and say that, as many people know, I've had problems with some people. When I exposed a fraud, or when I participated in exposing a fraud some time ago, I garnered this fan club of haters in the childhood cancer world. So while I have moved on from that particular individual who was exposed, out of sight, out of mind, I haven't mentioned him, I haven't spoken of him in who knows how long, his cronies and his band of heathens refused to stop. Now, I received a package in the mail from a woman named Debbie Carver. I have mentioned her before in a previous Sunday video update. It's been a long time. And she'll probably flag this video because I mentioned her name, which is very like her. See, it's okay for her to engage in harassment, but, she wants to paint this horrible, ugly picture of myself as being someone who harasses cancer parents. Well, who are you to harass me by sending me shit like this in the mail? I don't know if this is supposed to be some kind of a message or a statement or some kind of a joke, but this is the shirt that I received in the mail. I don't know what this is supposed to mean. State prison? I don't know what that's, she wasted, according to this invoice, which, by the way, that's her name right there. And I have my finger over my name to cover up my mailing address. But right there is her name. Whoops. Cover up my address here. If you can see that. She wasted $14.90 just to send me something as childish and mundane as this. Now, I don't know what this is supposed to mean, because for those of you who might not be aware, I don't have a criminal background. I've never been arrested or prosecuted. I don't have any outstanding traffic warrants. I don't have any warrants, period. I've never been in trouble with the law, and I don't have a rap sheet of any kind. I'm not being investigated or watched. I'm not under investigation by the FBI, state police, sheriff's department, or what have you. There's no reports against me. I'm not under investigation. I've never been in trouble with the law. So I don't know if this is just some childish tactic in order to scare me off of being an advocate for childhood cancer, but it has gotten to this point. And to be quite honest with all of you, I am sick and fucking tired of dealing with immature, grown-ass people who want to be stupid and waste money to, I don't know, on something that is so childish and mundane. That what, $14.90? We'll just call it an even $15 if we're going to include shipping costs. Money that the so-called advocate could have used to help a family in need of a child who has cancer. In fact, I was so important to her, I was on her mind. Gotta love it. I was on her mind that she would have to send me this bullshit in the mail. I am much too grown to be engaging in crap like this. You don't like me? That is totally and completely fine. I'm okay with that. But this shit is getting totally and completely out of hand. It's time to grow up. I could say a hell of a lot more, but there's so much more that I have to get to, and I don't want to waste too much time on this because I don't want to breathe life into it. I want this problem to go away. But see, these people do not stop. They do this to get some kind of a reaction out of me, like this is some kind of a statement. Like, ooh, she sent me a state prison t-shirt. Wow. How very clever of you. I don't understand people. You're grown and you have this lack of maturity. The children who are being treated for cancer act more mature than you at this point. And all these people who are on Facebook who are gloating her and worshiping her that, oh, she's such an amazing person. Let me remind you, this is not something that should be praised. Her lack of maturity speaks volumes. Her actions speak volumes. And the fact that she wasted $14.90, I can get that in the frame here. She wasted $14.90 on this fucking shirt that I'm not going to wear, and that I'll probably, I don't know, use it as a grease rag, because that's about what it's worth. It's time to grow up. I don't know what your deal is, what your infatuation is with me, but it's time to grow up, Debbie. And that goes for everybody else who wants to engage in stupid shit like this. I don't have time for it. I'm too busy living my life and enjoying the people and indulging my friends and family. I don't have time for bogus shit like this. I just don't. I don't know what this is supposed to mean. I don't know if this is some kind of a statement or some kind of a joke, or, ooh, I'm going to put the scare into him by sending a shirt. Grow the fuck up and get over it. The person that you curry favor to, who's a fraud, has been exposed. We have figured him out. He has long since been exposed. I haven't spoken of him in a long time, in months. I'm not going back. He's been out of sight, out of mind all this time. I have been too busy living my life. If people like you wish to continue to defend him, then that's your fucking problem. But, you know, this isn't going to stop me from doing what I do. You're going to have to try much harder than that. And that's all the time I'm going to be giving you, because you seem to like to engage in childish nonsense. So, there's that. And she's probably going to flag this video because I mentioned her name. Well, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? You accuse me of harassing people? Well, tell me, what the fuck do you call this? This is nothing short of harassment. So, practice what you preach, lady, because you're going to have to do a whole hell of a lot better than that. And by the way, seems we're on the topic of stupidity. Weeks ago, I had thrown down the gauntlet. I had said, you know what? If you have something on me, which there is nothing, But the challenge remains. If you have something on me, why don't you just put it in a police report? Because the back and forth bickering on Facebook is really ineffective. What does it prove? Like, you're just bickering at each other back and forth. That's all you have. That's all you can do. And people say to me, well, we have evidence we don't have to show you. No, fucking no. You don't have evidence because there's no evidence to show. You have evidence of a screenshot of a claim. And when I say, where's your evidence, I'm asking you, where's your evidence of the nature of that claim? I have yet to see it. Just like I have yet to see a police report. Because, you can't file a police report. It's illegal. That's a felony. So, enough with the stupid shit. There's much more things I have to get to. It's been a very long, very stressful week. Well, first of all, I'll start off by saying that my stepdad is now out of the hospital. He's in a nursing home in town. And he was in Ann Arbor, I think, for like a couple weeks. But he's now in a nursing home. He's closer to home now. So that's a plus. My brother's girlfriend had done something really stupid, which landed her in the hospital. She was on life support. I think she still is. I don't know. I haven't seen her since last week. But she got into an argument with my brother, and she did something really stupid, and it put her in the hospital for a while. And now she's slowly but surely bouncing back to good health. And I'm going to try to get up there to see her again sometime this week. I don't know exactly when, but I'm going to make it a point to get back to Saginaw to see her. Excuse me. So there's that going on. My Grandpa Fuller's brother had passed away. He had Alzheimer's and dementia, and he was, I think, in his late 70s. I think he was 77. And a cousin of mine named Mike Brewer had passed away. He was only, I think, 44. And so I've got all these different things coming at me. It's just one after the other. And there was a bright spot to this week, though, or this past week. I booked a flight. I'm going to Louisiana next month. I will be flying out of Detroit. There will be a layover in Atlanta, Georgia. And then after I arrive in Atlanta, Georgia, I will be flying to Baton Rouge. There are some friends down there who I've been wanting to meet them for the longest time. Their daughters were actresses, and so I'm going to be in Louisiana from July 19th until July 21st, just for the weekend. I wanted to keep it short and simple. I'm very self-conscious about pushing my welcome onto my friends. I don't want to prolong my stay or stay longer than they feel comfortable having me there. So I figured a weekend would be fine. And, of course, it's after the 4th of July. It's after my birthday, which is also coming up. But, yeah, the flight has been booked. It has been paid for already. And I'm just excited to go to Louisiana. Going to have some crawfish. But there's just been so much going on this past week. My cousins who visited from Utah and Arizona, they went back home. It got kind of heated here between the one cousin, not the one that was talking. She stood next to me. That was my cousin Tracy. It was her niece, my other cousin. We kind of had a bit of a falling out, like a shouting match, and I told her, get out. If you're going to talk like this to me or my dad or anybody in this house, just get the fuck out. I don't have to tolerate it. She was very disrespectful and rude, and, I'm not going to put up with it. But, excuse me, it has been a very long week, a very stressful week. And so, like I said, I've got all these different things coming at me, hitting me at once. The last thing I need to deal with is stupid fucking people. Even if I didn't have a miserable week, I still don't need to deal with this. This to me is horseshit. I may as well wipe my ass with it. Because, I don't engage in this kind of nonsense. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd the way people behave. And it's like I was telling my dad. I said, as if I don't have enough going on in my life now that I have to deal with dumbass people who can't get their shit together and grow up. And I'm just too grown for that kind of stuff. I haven't been in high school in years. That's done and over with. That drama should have ended a long time ago. But we have people who just have not matured past high school. And I don't wish to engage in that. I've got far too many things to do. I got people to see, things to do. I don't have time for it. So with this being the first official weekend of summer 2019, we are expecting a warm-up. It's supposed to be in the mid to upper 80s. We've got more rain coming. We've been having flooding issues here in Michigan a lot lately. And we just don't need any more rain. It's been raining for a good bulk of the week. And we've got fields that are flooded. We have storm drains that are backed up. We've got rivers and streams and creeks that are overflowing onto the roads. We don't need any more rain. And there was an article I read on Facebook where the state of Michigan is granting crop damage grants to the farmers, or something like that. Maybe I said it wrong. But the state is going to be giving grants to the farmers because of all the rain we had, and the crops are damaged. But we've been having some really strange, really wacky weather. Out in Colorado, I heard they got like a foot of snow on the first day of summer. It's like, you have got to be kidding me. I typically, the thing about Facebook is I typically don't believe everything I see. But the source in which the article was printed was pretty reputable. And by the way, it was, the article was also seen on different sources, and it was shared on Facebook. But even still, it's unbelievable. Colorado got a foot of snow, but it's the Rockies, and it's weird. It's really strange. I mean, there's people who don't believe in climate change. They think that it's a conspiracy. I believe that climate change is a real thing, and we really and truly affect it. Human beings are affecting everything that happens in our environment and in the atmosphere, and something's got to give. I don't know what it is that has to give, but I know something has to change. But yeah, we're expecting more rain. I think they're talking a slight risk area for severe weather for lower Michigan, or at least for southeastern Michigan, which would be like Flint, Detroit, Ann Arbor. I don't think Saginaw was included in that because I live in Saginaw County, and Saginaw is like 30 miles northeast of me. I don't think we were included in that slight risk area, but it's something we'll have to keep an eye on. But it's supposed to get really warm. It's supposed to be in the mid to upper 80s, and it's going to be very sticky and very humid. The kind of weather that I don't like. But it is Michigan. Now it's officially summer. This is what we're going to expect. But anyway, so yeah, I booked a flight to Louisiana. I am so excited, and I've been texting my friends and talking to my friends on Facebook about this, and I'm really excited to meet my friends. We've been talking now for probably, I'd say, it has to be about 3 or 4 years that we've been speaking, because I first discovered who they were on Twitter. And it's like the most nicest people in the world, down-to-earth people, and they want me to come down. So I bought a ticket. I'm going to be flying out of Detroit Metro. I'm going to be landing at the Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport. That's a mouthful to say, by the way. And then after that, that's the layover is in Atlanta. And then about an hour later, I'm going to Baton Rouge. It's going to be quite the experience because I've never been in the southern United States. And I figure I'm young. I don't have kids. I do have a girlfriend, but I don't have children. So I just want to travel. I want to see as much of the world as I can. I want to see as many friends as I can. And I want to make the most of this summer, because summers prior, last summer was good because I was in New York. And then I visited some friends in Iron Mountain, which I'm also planning on going back to see them too. So there's all kinds of traveling I want to do. But I visited them, I think it was like 3 years ago when I visited my friends in Iron Mountain. But I'm always welcome back there. She had told me in numerous texts on any number of different occasions, you are welcome here anytime you want. So, to my friends in Iron Mountain, I will be coming back. I just don't know when yet, because I plan on going to Wisconsin and seeing my girlfriend and taking her out on a date, possibly a dinner and a movie date, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. I've got so many plans, and I'm trying to focus on the good, and I'm focusing on myself. I'm focusing on my friends, and I'm trying to keep all the bullshit at bay, which is probably the best thing I can do at this point, because I just don't have time for it. These people are just so egregiously mad at me. Like, I don't understand why I'm such a big deal. Like, these people who hate on me constantly and all they do is gossip at one another, or they gossip about me to one another on Facebook, and it's like, what? You're serving no good purpose. You want to say I'm doing this and doing that, so then act on it. If you have evidence, put it in a police report. If I've done something illegal, if I've violated someone in some way, put it in a police report. I'm not intimidated. I have no fear, because the only time I would panic or be in fear or feel intimidated is if I had actually done something, which I didn't. And there's no way for me to prove that I didn't do it. So maybe perhaps I shouldn't make the assertion that I didn't do it, but I can say with confidence that I didn't do it. I didn't do anything that they're accusing me of doing. If it's harassment that they've got me on because I emailed somebody and said, hey, you've been sadly mistaken, because the things that people are telling you are totally and completely false, and they have not met their burden of proof. If me trying to instill logic and critical thinking into people's brains is somehow harassment, but they can sit on the other side, they can sit on the opposite end and harass me and cut me down all day long, well, okay, I guess. So then put it in a police report. I emailed somebody. There was another point that I wanted to kind of briefly touch on. And, of course, many of you know that I share the link to GuideStar every week, because we want to keep the frauds out of the childhood cancer world. But what I'm about to say, it really has nothing to do with the frauds, although it's impartial to this, because frauds are a constant part of our lives, and they will use any tactic to get money. That's why I share GuideStar. We have to keep the frauds at bay as often as possible. You have to do your homework. But this is what I've noticed about nonprofit organizations. And mind you, I am a firm supporter of a nonprofit organization. The idea of having an organization that helps to benefit other people in need, I'm all for it. Giving back and helping other people, I admire anybody who does it. However, there are some exceptions to that. I don't care if you are a CEO of a nonprofit organization, your actions will always speak louder than your words. I don't care. You can help anybody you want, which is great, and I'll respect you for that. Up until the point you either brag about it on Facebook or you treat someone in the community like dirt, then I no longer endorse you. And because it's a very fine comb that you have to go through. You have to really just kind of carefully pick apart, who's legitimate and who's not, who's supportive and who isn't. So that's item number one. Item number two is, I've tried to say this in any number of ways possible on Facebook. While nonprofit organizations are good and they are beneficial to the public, it's not just the people who have nonprofit organizations are the ones who give. It's not just those people who give back and help people. You don't have to have a nonprofit organization to have sympathy or empathy in your heart. Like I said, I'm not downgrading nonprofit organizations. I'm not throwing shade at anybody. I'm not saying that nonprofit organizations are bad or detrimental. No, they're not. They're actually beneficial. But what I'm saying is the only red tape, like me, I don't have a nonprofit organization. I'm not a CEO of a nonprofit organization. I'm not affiliated with any groups or organizations or anything of the kind. I walk alone. I fly solo, which means that all the people I've ever helped, I've done it on my own and without the aid or the need for a nonprofit organization. If, in fact, you have it in your heart to help somebody, the only red tape is, okay, I can help other people, which is fantastic, but I have to make sure that I am taken care of also. I have to make myself a priority first before I can make anybody else a priority. That's it. That's the only red tape there is. People struggle with this all the time. They think that, they have to constantly put everybody else at the forefront of their priorities, when in fact they are forgetting that they themselves should be the top priority. And it may be the case, okay, I have everything I need, I'm all set, but I have some extra resources, far more than what I actually need. I can manage to give this away. I can afford to help somebody else, which is awesome. But you have to always make sure that you don't lose yourself in helping other people. You have to take care of yourself first. You have to be grounded enough to say, I'm also important. I love other people. I love helping people, but my needs must also be met too. I have to make sure that I have mental and emotional stability, that I don't get so caught up in this that I'm ruining myself financially or emotionally. I see this happen all the time. And furthermore, to kind of bank on that, the people who have the nonprofit organizations, like I said, I don't have anything against nonprofit organizations. Some of the people I'm not too crazy about, but nonprofit organizations, okay, cool. You help people. You are a public servant to somebody else who needs it. So you're serving the community. You're helping somebody else. And by the community, I'm not talking child to cancer. I'm talking the local community, the town, the city, the village, whatever. It's not just the people with nonprofit organizations who manage to help other people. And when I sign on to Facebook, some of the things I see, these people who get praised because, they have a nonprofit organization. Somehow the art of helping or being empathetic is some kind of mysterious thing that only they can do that nobody else can. which is absolute crap. Because, as I pointed out, I don't have a nonprofit organization, and I've helped lots of people. I've taken money out of my own pocket and handed it directly to them and said, here, you know? And they always ask me, how do I pay you back? Well, you can, pay me back by helping somebody else, or pay me back with the idea, or with the knowledge, or the comfort, or the with the warmth and the exception, which I'm accepting that you are appropriating that money that I give you where it's supposed to go, that it's going to be beneficial for you and your children, or for the warrior. That's how you pay me back. So it's not just people with nonprofit organizations who help. I just want to point that out, because there are people who help in many ways, whether it be, monetarily, emotionally. There's people who help in all different kinds of ways. They just don't talk about it on Facebook, because they respect themselves enough that they have the integrity to say, I want to help somebody, I go out and help them. That's it. People are so hooked on this transparency thing, which is good in some form, because you have people who consistently show who they help and why they're helping, and they endorse their own nonprofit organization to get people to donate. Okay, fine. That's business as usual, to get people to donate. But like I said, there are people who don't have a nonprofit organization, such as myself. I've helped lots of people. I just don't put it all over Facebook, So please reject the notion that only people with nonprofit organizations have the audacity or the knowledge or the wherewithal to help other people, because it's just not true. Just not true. There are lots of people, plenty of people, more than enough people who are affected and traumatized forever, permanently, by the throes of pediatric cancer. When these people have to watch their children suffer needlessly and helplessly at the behest of this monster disease. That's Amy's alarm going off. So, Amy, your phone's going off. She's getting up, folks. There's coffee made.
Okay, buddy.
All right. We're in the Sunday video update, so that's all right. She's just waking up, folks, so bear with her. I don't know if Dad's awake yet, or he's just over there lying on the couch with his eyes closed.
He had a rough night.
Yeah, I think we've had a rough week. It's been just awful, stressful. There have been some highlights to the week, of course, but it's been one of those long, stressful weeks. I'm tired. I didn't sleep well. My sinuses are draining when I'm sleeping, and I kept waking up.
That's his issue.
And I did not sleep well at all. But anyway, I don't know what else to talk about. Usually I have help from my audience over here, but Dad's sleeping and she just woke up. Well, it's nothing to be sorry about. I mean, not much you can do when you're asleep. I just wanted to get this.
Probably got me snoring again.
Well, a little bit. A little bit. I don't think it was.
Not as bad as the last time.
Not as bad as last week. Last week, I mean, it sounded like thunder. But, yeah, I already kind of covered everything from this past week. Been absolutely long and stressful, and just...
This week starting.
Yeah.
It's going to be better.
I
can't take any more down
No,
news.
neither can I. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on with the world. I was at my brother Wayne's in Saginaw last week, of course, because his girlfriend had done something really stupid. And there was a drive-by shooting, like right next door to him. In the area, in the neighborhood, there's bullet holes. In his, I mean, when you approach her front door, you can see the bullet holes in the front of her house, up by the door. One on this side, one on this side.
Yeah, that's what Jen was saying the other day.
And that's what I was telling Dad the other day.
He said, yeah, and they got over by Carly's house.
Yeah, and there was a house, another house that got shot up, and an RV has bullet holes in it. And then they had another shooting in Saginaw.
Over by the hospital.
Over on North Charles and Cooper. For those of you familiar with Saginaw. One person died. And I think there were three others were injured. What the hell?
You know what it is? You've got all your gang members. You've got all your...
Well, I understand that.
Your drug dealers.
I understand all that. But to kill. I had made a post about this on Facebook. It was kind of brief and random. You can agree to disagree on a lot of different things, and you can still get on. You can still carry on with your life. You don't have to agree all the time on everything. You can have your disagreements and still be okay. You can duke it out, whatever. Hash out your words or whatever you have to do that makes you feel better.
Sometimes that don't work.
But when you actually have to get guns involved, when you have to kill or do drive-by shootings because you think you're cute or whimsical or intelligent, you're a fucking moron. Who in their right mind? I guess you wouldn't be in a right mind if you have the gumption to kill and just to shoot at somebody's house at random, spraying bullets everywhere. I was walking down the street, and maybe perhaps it was stupid on my part, but I was walking down the street just around the corner from my brother's house, shell casings, from the bullets, laying in the street. Now, it was bone-chilling, to say the absolute least. This is the kind of world that I don't want to live in. If you cannot agree to disagree, not all two people are going to get along, and that's okay. There's people that I don't like. There's people who clearly don't like me. Who gives a shit? Who fucking cares? I don't like people either, apparently. But I don't want to shoot them. I don't want to kill them.
Alright.
I want them to prosper and grow up and get beyond dumb shit. You don't have to agree with everybody. There's people who disagree with me all the time.
That's the problem. They may not be disagreeing or anything like that. There may be a reason why
Sure.
it's happened.
Why they're shooting. Maybe it's a drug deal gone bad. Maybe it's you looked at them funny, which is also a stupid fucking reason.
Right. But I think a lot of it is...
I think it's the drug deals going bad.
drugs, gangs.
Yeah.
It's
all
that in Owasso.
It's the young generation. It's the now generation. Sorry, millennials. I guess I'm a millennial too because I was born after 1984. Like it fucking matters. I don't go around shooting people or hurting people.
All right.
It just, millennial or not. Well, millennials just don't get it. Fuck off. I understand plenty what's going on in the world, and I think it sucks. It's stupid shit, and then there's kids that are getting involved. I remember a time, Amy, and this was about a couple years ago. There was a drug deal gone bad in Saginaw. A child was in the fucking middle of it. They were shot and killed. A 6-year-old. What kind of a world do we live in where people are so ignorant?
Another thing that's going on in Saginaw is your kids being out there on their bikes in the roads.
And it happens all over. I realize it's not just Saginaw, Michigan, or Flint, Michigan, or Detroit, or Grand Rapids, or Lansing. I know it happens everywhere. Why should it happen at all? One is one too many. And yeah, I do get a tad bit emotional about this because we had a shooting in Chesaning, in my hometown. Chesaning is a small country town where the most that ever happens in Chesaning is, I don't know, drugs. There are some sex offenders from Chesaning. There are people who do heinous things, but we're not known for murder. Chesaning is not a town that is known for murder. And just like Amy pointed out, it's happening in Owasso. Owasso is a city, but it's not known for murder. You would have to go east about 25 miles into Flint before you start to get into the really hairy crime like murder and rape. Big time. And I'm not trying to, I know how people get sensitive and they get hypersensitive about, well, how dare he talk about my town or my city? Because we don't turn a blind eye to it like you do. We realize and recognize the problems and the scenarios that people go through just to survive. Like, what the hell? I don't understand why people are so ignorant and stupid and foolish that they have to engage in such crap. I don't get it. I don't understand. People, they don't value life. They have no concern for life. They don't value life. They have no value for fellow human beings. They don't value humanity. He looked at me funny. I want him dead. What the fuck kind of a mentality is that? What kind of life is that to live? You're strong and you're tough as long as you got that gun. But without that gun, what are you? Well, I could tell you what you could be. You could be a productive member of society who wants better for the world instead of adding bad to it. That's it. Kind of like with this. I'm sure deep down she means well. I'm sure she has done lots of wonderful things. But her actions, again, speak louder than her words. Because if we're going to call this a community and if we're going to behave like this, that is a contradiction. Because a community doesn't do this to each other. A community is supposed to be there for one another. And we don't oust one another. We don't treat each other like absolute dirt. I don't care if you have beef with me. I can handle people not liking me. I don't lose sleep over it. It's the least of my worries now because I'm too busy living life and trying to get the most out of life as I possibly can by spending time with friends and family, creating memories, because this life is temporal. We're not going to live forever. We're not going to be young forever. We have to make the best of this life because it's one shot. It's all we're going to get. And some people wish to engage in childish, mundane behavior and bullshit, wasting time. you know, some days I regret even getting involved.
Some days I regret even getting up.
In getting involved, I'm talking about the childhood cancer world. Some days I regret ever getting involved.
Oh.
But most days I don't. Because no matter what happens, there are always going to be people out there who...
You're always going to have your haters, Jared, but you can't run from your haters.
No, I'm not running. I'm not running. Far from it. I'm always going to have people who love me and want me around.
Yeah.
And those are the people that I focus on.
Matter of fact, didn't you talk to him the other day?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, video chat. I video chatted with the mom of a cancer warrior yesterday. I think he's got scans coming up again.
Did you talk about your trip?
Yes. Yes, I'm going to Louisiana next month. I got some people down there who've been wanting to meet me because their daughters were actresses. I think the one is. Maybe both of them aren't anymore. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to find out. We're going to have some talks, and we're going to potentially have some pictures taken, and I can't wait. We're going to have crawfish. We're going to have cold beer. We're just going to have fun. We're going to create some awesome fucking memories. And I'm ecstatic. I wish I could get on the plane today. I just want to get out of here. And that's nothing against you and Dad or anybody else. I just want to get out of here. It's summertime. I don't want to sit around all summer. I want to get the hell out of here. I want to, you know, and I told Dad, Amy, this, and I even told Dad, I suggested Dad, go out to the lake. Go out to Muskegon. Just go to the lake. Listen to the waves. Look at the sun shining down. I'm telling you, it is beautiful. You know you've been out on the lake when you went up to see your son. Michigan has so much to offer.
Honestly, I really didn't get the lake Michigan and that.
Yeah.
I didn't really get there because of the fact of the paths and all.
Yeah, the roads don't go right on shore. Like they curve around, but then the shore would be more over here.
Yeah. Well, it's not. They took us down to an area where you could fish.
Yeah.
But
A lot of fisheries in Michigan.
you had all brush on both sides.
Yep. Yep.
And then there's just this real thin path.
And
I didn't know how wide it was down past that path, and I'm like, I'll just sit up here with
yeah.
my granddaughter. And
Yeah. I keep encouraging Dad. If you got the money, you know what? Put $40 in the gas tank. You got $40 where you typically go and drink beer at the bar. Fuck that. Put $40 in the tank. Have like an extra 20 for food or whatever. Just get in the car and go. Just get the fuck out of here. Go enjoy life. Go away. Go look at something. Get out of the house. Don't go to the bar. Get the hell out of here. It's not that I don't mind going to the bar. I like going to the bar. I was just there last night.
well, that's what we were gonna do the other day. Is
But-
just get on that bike and go. But
Yeah.
the bike wouldn't let us.
The bike was just being a pain in the ass. But I don't mind going to bars and having a cold brew or having food or whatever. I don't mind doing that at all. But the real adventure is when you get on the open road and you just drive. That's where the adventure is. I've even tried talking Dad into, you and Dad going on a vacation. Saving up some money.
Yeah.
I don't know. He likes his beer. He likes his Club Kino.
Yeah.
His lottery. That's where all his money goes. It's like you are 61 years old.
It's not only that though, Jared. You gotta understand too. He's also trying to support too.
Yeah. Well, my point is that he's 61 years old. I love you, Dad. He's 61 years old. He needs to get out and enjoy life.
Yeah.
Don't fucking lounge around here all the time. Don't lounge around at the bar. Get out of here.
The only reason why he got out last night is because I come out and I told him, I said, I'm tired of sitting here.
Yeah,
I wanna get out.
you gotta get out and do stuff. You can't sit
Even-
around.
Even if it was just going up to where Jimmy is,
Yeah.
know, and him going in and seeing Jimmy.
You
I
can't.
couldn't because we had to.
You can't sit around. You just can't sit around. You gotta get out. You know, like there's days when I don't feel like going anywhere or doing anything, and yeah, I'll lounge around. I'll stay in my bedroom and nap or watch TV or do something.
I got a habit of staying in the camper.
But I don't want to be a couch potato all summer. I want to get out and do stuff. That's one of the reasons why I booked the flight to Louisiana. But the main reason is because I have friends in Louisiana who love me just as much as I love them, and I cannot wait to see them.
I would even just like to walk as far as I could up and down the road.
Yeah.
I've asked him to do it. No luck.
I mean, I encourage him. I've been trying to tell him, you have got to get out and do more, Dad.
The doctors even just told him he's got to get exercise.
You got to stay the fuck away from the bar. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going to the bar, but come on, every time you get even a little bit of money, you're at the bar. No, start saving your money. Save up for a trip, even if you got to take out a loan, which is what I did. If you have to take out a loan, do it. You'll have vacation money. If you go through a credit union, I mean, they're always approving, vacation loans because it's summertime. People like to travel, and that's when they make their money. That's why they promote it. So, I mean, that's what you have to do. You have to get out. You cannot sit in a dismal environment every fucking day. It's summertime. I can't do it, Amy. I can't be a couch potato all summer. I just can't. I'm allergic to the sun, yes, but it's a chance I'm willing to take. I just don't want to sit here all the time. Once in a while, it's fine. I don't mind it. If I see too much of the world or if I deal with too many assholes, then fine. I don't mind staying home and staying within the confinement of my bedroom. But for any other reason, no, I've got to get out. Even if I'm driving up to see my mother, which I have to also visit with my mom. Or if I'm going to Eaton Rapids to see my little buddy battling leukemia. Or if anywhere, if I drive to Saginaw or Bay City or Lansing, Grand Rapids, anywhere, just to get out of here. Because there's life in the world, there's life out there. There's more to do out there than there is in here. And I understand the world can be a very scary place. I totally get it. I'm not blind to that. The world is a very pernicious place. I'm not ignoring or denying that, but there's also a lot of good in the world too. There's people that actually love you and care about you. And I have some of the greatest friends in the world who constantly, daily, prove that to me. And I just hope I'm doing an okay job returning the favor. But anyway, was there anything you wanted to add?
No.
No subject or topic you want to talk about? Or if if there is, you just want to keep it to yourself, which is fine. That's fine. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I pretty much said everything I needed to say. But
There is a topic, but
okay. Well, if you don't want to talk about it, then you don't have to. But there's, I don't know. I'm over people's shit and their drama and
my question for everybody
okay.
is why, when one family member passes, that the others, like the siblings, all fight.
It's a good question. When a family member dies, why do the siblings and everybody why does everybody fight? That's a question for the ages. I would like to know.
You know, so would I, because that's what's going on with my brother and my sister right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm neutral. Do whatever you want.
You're neutral.
Thank you.
Neutral, not mutual. Neutral.
Do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm just standing back and letting everybody do it.
You're just letting it all unfold.
Yeah.
Just leave me out of it.
It's too stressful. The way it's going,
Yeah.
It's too stressful for me. Everyone arguing and everything. I can't do it.
Right.
Mentally, I can't.
I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, the video chat. Yesterday, she's a cancer mom. She's under a lot of stress too. She feels separated, like the black sheep of her family. When she needs help financially, parents or people won't help. But anybody else, they'll pass the buck graciously. And it's like, well, wait a minute. You're gonna do this to your grandchildren? And they say, well, don't hold my grandkids over me. So then why would you help anybody else or their grandchildren or those particular sets of grandkids, but not this particular set?
Right.
They're your grandbabies. There's no excuse.
Well, that's like your children. We were treated different all of our lives.
Yeah, the parents
Sis,
curry favor with certain children and
Sister-
certain not.
sister was the first one,
Yeah,
so she got everything bigger and better. I was the middle one,
yeah,
and you think that I would have got everything the next size level down.
yeah.
Oh no, the brother, who's the youngest, got everything that's the next size down, and then I got everything small.
It's like
I,
when it's like when I had cancer, Amy. Okay, I was only 2 years old. Everybody knows. My brother Jay felt left out. He felt like, okay, mom and dad are showing Jared all of the attention. Me being sick, having cancer, wasn't to inconvenience my brother. I know a lot of families who have this problem with the siblings where the parents have to focus more on the child that has the disease versus the child who's well.
Just like my parents knew I was suicidal, but
it-
it didn't bother me.
well,
They
I mean-
tried to help me.
And that's a mental, the mental side. But with cancer, that's inside your body. That's
Yeah.
an actual, like a membrane of a
Yeah.
disease going on.
I don't know
And
if you heard it yesterday. My biological father and I got into it right here on this couch over the phone.
well, he probably deserved it because I know the
Skin
history.
Cancer.
Oh, well, what does he know? He's not an oncologist.
He's got some and he's had it checked out. And
Oh,
it's not
please.
cancer.
Oh, please. He's not an oncologist.
I'm gonna go on the 27th and they're gonna tell me it's not cancer.
I wish I would have been there for that. Because I would have asked him, are you an oncologist? Do you have a doctrine?
Then he sat there and argued with me over a stupid phone number. Like,
It's
and then,
petty shit.
then it was all, they're going to a concert, a tribute for Elvis, and they're going to this, they're going to that, they're going to this, they're going to that. Oh, this one's going to this with them. And it's like, okay, Dad. I'm not arguing with you, I'm letting you go. Bye.
But getting back to what I was saying, like my brother felt like he was left out of the loop. Like mom and dad, they're not showing me, the love that they're showing Jared. It happens. Like I know lots of families who go through that, and I think what Amy was trying to get at is that there are parents who knowingly
Don't give a crap.
separate. They disown their children.
Yep.
There are certain children that they disown. My parents didn't disown us kids. My mom and dad did not disown Jay when I was sick. It's just that I was sick. I needed the attention at the time. My situation was urgent, and it required immediate, urgent attention. And like I said, I see this with lots of families who are going through this with their children. You have several children, but one child has cancer, or sometimes several at a time, which is awful. But one is enough. And the other children feel like they are not loved enough. Or, gee, they're missing my important soccer games, or they're missing my important events, my extracurricular activities, because my sibling is battling cancer, so they're missing it. I get it. My brother went through the same thing with me. And it's a shame. It's a shame that kids feel as if their parents don't love them just the same. If you are someone who's been through that, where, okay, my brother was sick or my sister was sick, and my parents showed them more attention than they showed me, and I kind of, even now I have a hard time with that. Listen, nobody asks to be sick ever. When you're a baby, when you're a kid, what kind of a life is that to live in a hospital room, right? Traipsing up and down the halls.
With your IV and everything.
And
feeding, if you have a feeding tube. And all
yeah.
that.
It is not a life that any child should have to live. Now, I understand that we are I'd say a few months removed from September, because September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, which is wonderful. I think it's great that we have awareness months for childhood cancer in general. We're not focusing specifically on specific cancers. It's for all cancers, which is great. I support it. And I kind of delve into that myself. And I raise awareness on social media, and I share a bunch of memes about childhood cancer. And it's not to annoy anybody, but cancer is like a big part of my life. So I don't have a problem helping people or raising awareness. And I read a post on Facebook. I don't even remember who posted it or where I saw it, but I did read it, saying that awareness isn't enough, that you have to actually enact on it. You have to believe. Well, let me put it this way. Awareness, when it comes to childhood cancer, awareness is enough to get the ball rolling. Because awareness leads to funding. Funding leads to research. Research leads to cures. You have to start somewhere. There has to be a starting point. Awareness would be that. That would be the starting point. For anybody, and this is, it was just totally, it's like, how could I read this and think, oh, gee, I'm just going to agree with that? No, I don't agree with it. Awareness is just as essential, because it gets people in the loop. You know what's out there. You can't deny it. You're aware. Every person that I've ever spoken to in my life, I wouldn't say my life, but that's being a bit hyperbolic. The people that I've spoken to within the past 6 years that I've been an advocate, they know in one way or the other that pediatric cancer is a real thing. It's happening now. There are children in the hospital now. There are children dying now. There are parents who are burying their children today. There are parents who are planning funeral arrangements today. There are children who are getting chemo today, right now. They are crying. They are screaming in agony. These things are really happening every second. To ignore that, you would be lying to yourself, and you would be lying to everybody else that you have come in contact with and say, well, gee, I don't know anything about childhood cancer. Yes, you do. You're aware of this. And once you're aware of something, you can never be unaware ever again. For me, for my family, awareness happened 30 years ago. My parents, they don't forget. They can't forget. And and I've had this talk with Amy and my dad, because nowadays we have social media, and a lot of the time you see where the cancer battle flourishes on Facebook. The parents turn to Facebook. When I was sick, we didn't have Facebook. In 1989, we had ALF, the television show. You know, Amy remembers ALF.
Yep.
We had...
That little guy that ate all the cats.
Yeah, the alien life form. He loved cats. We didn't have Facebook back then. All we had were the people who knew us directly.
Our friends and family.
Yeah, our immediate circle. The whole world didn't know. Now that we have YouTube, we have Facebook, now it's easy to get the word out.
The only thing I wish they had back then was just a phone to where you could call your parents, and that's it. To let your parents know where you were at. Big deal.
What do you mean? There were phones back then.
Cell phones.
In the 80s, that's when cell phones come out. The very first cell phone. They were like this big. And the antennas were like this big.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Dad and I had one like that.
Yeah. Cell phones, the earliest...
2000s.
Yeah, and the earliest form of a cell phone come out in the 1980s.
I forgot all about that. Yeah, we
Yep.
had one, and then we went smaller.
But over the years, the technology has greatly improved.
Yeah, because we ended up having them that had the walkie-talkie on.
Yeah. Everything has greatly improved.
Matter of fact, we still have Dad's very first phone.
Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is that back then we didn't have Facebook, so we didn't have a wide range of people to reach out to like we do now. And we didn't have... See, we had technology in 1989, but it was nowhere compared to the technology we have today. Now we are always at each other's fingertips, so to speak, because everybody's doing this with their phones, they're getting on Facebook, and they're texting and whatever. You have, like, up to the minute. It's like CBS up to the minute, where you're constantly posting highlights of your life. But my timeline, or my feed on Facebook consists mainly of stories, updates of children battling cancer. I don't understand why things happen the way they did over the years, because I'm a guy who survived cancer as a child. All I ever wanted to do was reach out to people and say, hey, you're not alone. Now we have Facebook. Now I could use that tool to reach out to people and say, you're not alone. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to bother anybody. I just want to show people and to tell people that I've been through it. And what I've learned in my experiences being a survivor and having gone through that, I also like to think that I can teach people different ways of viewing things. And I'm not always going to get it right. I'm not always going to be correct. You know, mistakes are made all the time. I'm trying to learn from those mistakes, and I've learned quite a bit in the past 6 years of what to do and what not to do, as far as advocacy is concerned. If I'm not an advocate, if today I decided to say, screw it, I'm not an advocate anymore, I'm still a survivor. And I know a lot of parents, bereaved parents, they have this bit of, bitterness towards survivors. I'm not trying to, strike a nerve with parents who have lost their children to this, because it's very heartbreaking and it's so sad that they would have to ever go through something like that. I feel for them. Really and truly, I feel for them. I'm not trying to come off as someone who gloats because he survived and their child didn't. I have survivor guilt. Probably more than I ever really care to let on. I have survivor guilt. And, Amy, I've even had people tell me that survivor guilt, well, you're just milking it for what it's worth. Well, it may be easy for you to say because you didn't have that. You never had to go through what I've had to go through. And it's usually coming from indirectly affected people. I don't know how they ever got involved with childhood cancer. I mean, I'm glad, at some extent, to some degree, I guess I'm glad that they did. Having been indirectly impacted, they just read a story or they saw a St. Jude commercial or what have you. And then they wanted to get involved. They wanted to be proactive in raising awareness. Great. I have nothing against it. But there are many people who let it go to their heads. They think that they are the Messiah of pediatric cancer. Somehow we have elected certain people to lead the way. They want to be the people. I'm sorry, but each and every person who was directly impacted by childhood cancer, including myself, we are the pioneers of this. We are counterparts of the much larger group of diagnoses. Now, I'm 30 years removed from my battle. But I'm not discounted. I'm still very much a part of that. And that's about all I have to say about that. And I sound like Forrest Gump. That's all I have to say about that. But no, I mean, there's so much I know about it from a first-hand experience that people are always trying to, they're preaching to the choir. They're trying to tell me something that chances are you're telling me something that I don't already know. But I have been to funerals of children who've passed away, and I've seen children in caskets. It's not a very pretty sight at all. It's awful. It's horrid. It's wretched when you see a child in a casket. It's morbid. And the parents grieve helplessly. And you know that no matter how many hugs you give them, no matter how many words you say, even if it sounds right, nothing, no amount of words, no amount of hugs will ever make it okay. It will never be all right. Never. And I've met lots of people in the 6 years that I've been an advocate. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like my advocacy style. You don't have to like me as an individual. Fine. But at the end of the day, I'm going to make it about the kids. And if you wish to engage in stupid shit like this, sending me t-shirts that say state prison on them, don't waste your money or your fucking time. Because this is just a mere reflection of the kind of person you are. Phew.
It shows a lot of hate in that shirt.
Yeah.
And then someone says they wear it.
Well, I've had some of my friends, they want me to wear it and be all comical about it. I'm trying to put this problem to bed. I'm trying to smother it. I don't want to prolong this crap.
Right.
Because I've got far too many other things to focus on and deal with. I ain't got time for this petty, childish bullshit. I don't need stuff like this in the mail. Oh, state prison. What's that supposed to mean?
I think you should do what that one officer told you guys to do.
Yeah. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. But then I'd be stooping down to her level. And I don't want to do that. I'm better than that.
Right.
You know? I'm much too grown to be playing these petty, childish bullshit games.
So what do? Just put it up? And
Use it as a grease rag, or if we run low on toilet paper?
Dad could always use it too to wax his bike, whatever.
Yeah. I could use it to give my dog a bath and dry him off. Or I could just wipe my ass with it.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, I don't understand the nerve of people. Like, what do you get out of that? Like, what's the point? You wasted money on a fucking shirt that says state prison. What's that supposed to even mean? Is that like some kind of a threat or a message or a statement? Well, I'm not intimidated. Not even in the slightest little bit. What the fuck is that? What is it supposed to mean?
Right.
I am a prisoner of love. Oh my God.
Dad and I were watching that Live PD.
Yeah. He likes live PD.
It was funny because this guy was getting
Excuse
harassed
me.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
And he went to the cops.
Right.
And the cops, all they can tell him is,
Oh, my
report it
allergies.
to Facebook.
Yeah.
We can't do nothing about it. Report it to Facebook. They'll
What-
do something about it.
What good does that do?
And like I told Dad, what good does that do? Someone's been doing it all his life since he started doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's the thing with Facebook. There's no real consequences.
No. And they've got what they call the law for cyberbullying. I'm wondering, whereabouts is this cyberbullying?
Well, the cyberbullying law, it's in effect in Michigan. It is. It is a law. It is illegal to engage in cyberbullying in the state of Michigan. However, if it's someone from another state who's cyberbullying me, do we comply with Michigan law or the state in which they live? See, I don't know how that works. If because the laws can't
Yeah.
cross, like
Switch
there's
from Texas to here.
yeah, there's specific laws for the specific states.
Right.
I don't know how that would work in other
Like-
states.
Just like in Texas, you're allowed, say, a dog comes on your property
Yeah.
and it's a rat, a
Mhm.
nuisance or whatever. You can literally pull your gun out and shoot that dog and get away with it.
I didn't know that.
Um,
Well, what there
someone
needs to
comes on
be,
your property and they start a hectic situation.
yeah.
You can shoot them and get away with it.
Hmm.
Yeah, ain't that weird?
I have to look into that. The
I've heard a lot about that
I-
down in Texas.
I'd have to look into that. There needs to be a national law on cyberbullying. If there's not already, there needs to be.
Yeah,
Because just doing state-by-state cases, it doesn't help.
no.
You need to have a federal law that prohibits cyberbullying, period. Doesn't matter the age. If you're fucking harassing somebody, you're going to pay the consequences for
I
that.
think a lot of it is, though, is you can't get the federal to sign the bill for it.
And they wonder why suicide rates are going up. Because people are constantly being fucked with.
They're constantly, yeah. Bullied.
And the law doesn't want to do shit about it until something happens. They don't want to prevent it from happening. They just wait until someone does something stupid,
Yeah.
like killing themselves or harming themselves, oh, well, I guess we should intervene now. You should have intervened in the fucking beginning when someone reached out to you and said, hey, someone's messing with me, they won't leave me alone.
Well,
It's persistent. They don't stop.
look what the law told him back in, 2000 and something, 2 or something like that?
I don't know.
Anyway, my brother threatened us with a samurai.
Oh, yeah, he threatened to chop us up with a sword. Okay.
Okay, we call the law. The law tells Dad, well, if you beat him up, just leave a little life.
Yeah,
so we can come get him.
leave an inch of life in him so we can detain him and arrest him.
Yeah.
So then if
If he dies on the way there,
Dad gets charged with murder.
yeah.
But, I mean, there's circumstances, obviously. Like, there's a self-defense,
Yeah.
and you would have to be, there would have to be an exception to the rule. But what I'm saying is, if someone notifies the law that, okay, I'm being cyberbullied here, what are my options?
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing we can do. Fuck that. There is a cyberbullying law in Michigan.
Yeah, all they say is report it to the site.
Yeah, report it to Facebook. Well, what the fuck is Facebook going to do?
And if it's not Facebook, report it to the site that you're on.
Yeah, YouTube. Or whatever. What good is that? They're just going to turn around and do it again.
Yeah. So you might as well do like you do, laugh at it.
And brush it off.
Yeah. Oh,
But, I don't know.
sorry to change the subject. I have good news.
And what would that good news be?
I am almost 3 years of not being in the stress unit.
Good news. That's great. It'll keep you the hell out of there.
Yeah. It's been an up and down battle, but I managed through it all.
That's good.
With help
Yeah.
from
Well, of course.
close family.
You need that support system. But I've been here for over an hour. This is like one of the longest Sunday video updates I've done in a long time. And I'm getting tired. So yeah, that's what's going on in our lives. I mean, we're hanging in there, despite the fact that this past week was awful. It was shitty. My brother's girlfriend
Daddy's waking up.
was on life support, and my grandpa's brother had passed away, and a cousin of ours passed away, and and there's just so much other stuff going on. But there have been highlights to the week as well. Like I said, I'm going to Louisiana, and my stepdad is now in a nursing home. He's not in the hospital anymore. And some people would view that as, well, it went from bad to worse. Well, no, he's closer to home, which is what he wanted. It's what we wanted, because they wanted to put him in a nursing home in Canton, which is a suburb of Detroit. And he said, no, I want to be closer to home. I want to be in my hometown. Well, his hometown will be in California, but he says, I want to be closer to home. So he's in Chesaning. I feel like I could lay down and just take a little nap, because I didn't sleep worth shit last night. My sinuses, my allergies were draining, and I kept waking up gagging and coughing, and I have kind of a scratchy throat now, and I'm drowsy, I'm tired. Yeah. I think I'm going to lay down and take a little nap. Try to catch some Z's, because I'm sleepy. I'm tired. But I think Dad's waking up, or at least he's just lying there with his eyes closed. Like he does a lot. He'll pretend that he's sleeping, and he'll listen to every word, every bit of our conversation. So was there anything you wanted to add before I wrap this up?
Not me. What about you, honey?
I think he wrapped up something. That's how we know he's awake. He'll rip one. He does. He does. He does every morning. Every morning. But anyway, I hope this week will be better. That's all I can wish for. And I can only wish that people will stop engaging in childish behavior. Grown people acting stupidly. But I'm better than that. I'm too grown for that. And that's about it. So Dad's just now waking up and we are just now wrapping up. You wake up, I wrap up. Okay. So, I guess with that being said, thank you so much for watching this week and indulging me for a little while. Much love to all of you. I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you. Much love and peace.
Peace out.
And I'm spinning out.